Marjorie Taylor Greene and a group of MAGA Republicans are still threatening to vacate or remove MAGA Mike Johnson as the Speaker of the House after a group of MAGA Republicans previously ousted the prior Republican Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy. Marjorie Taylor Greene and other MAGA Republicans are essentially saying that MAGA Mike Johnson is a Democrat and that he's working for Nancy Pelosi. And if MAGA Mike introduces any plan that would allow spending to benefit Ukraine, that the MAGA Republicans will seek to oust MAGA Mike based on the motion to vacate that Marjorie Taylor Greene previously submitted, but has not formally voiced and introduced a formal vote on that motion to vacate. She simply submitted it. So in other words, she's basically using this motion to vacate that she submitted to hold over the head of MAGA Mike to try to prevent any funding of our ally Ukraine to help Vladimir Putin. Let me just show you what Marjorie Taylor Greene just told CNN. She told Manu Raju, spoke with Marjorie Taylor Greene this afternoon, who said she's not backing off at all on her push to oust MAGA Mike Johnson, whom she plans to speak with on Friday. He calls him Mike Johnson. I call him MAGA Mike. And she warned him not to move on Ukraine, particularly under suspension of the rules, and said if he does, that's going to move the needle. MAGA Mike, I'm going to remove you if you do any funding to Ukraine. Marjorie Taylor Greene says that as MAGA Mike tries to cobble together a Ukraine package, quote, funding Ukraine is probably one of the most egregious things that he can do. This according to Marjorie Taylor Greene, who also has the support of other MAGA Republicans. Marjorie Taylor Greene rejected the GOP warnings that ousting him could lead to Hakeem Jeffries as Speaker, calling it a, quote, stupid lie, all as she dismissed concerns that doing so could lead to a more moderate Speaker, attacking Johnson as, quote, Mitch McConnell's twin and worse. There's not even any daylight between him and Nancy Pelosi at this point, Marjorie Taylor Greene said of MAGA Mike Johnson. She wouldn't comment on her conversations with Trump on the subject, nor would she say how many Republicans are backing her effort, although she did intimate that she has a lot of Republicans who are backing her effort. This is Marjorie Taylor Greene on Mike Johnson. Let me play this clip from earlier in the day.
Moment. Now, there are also concerns, Jake, that if there is a push to oust Mike Johnson, who would only be the second person ousted ever as Speaker of the House through a vote on the floor, that Democrats could work with moderate Republicans and move forward a more moderate Speaker. Greene pushed back against that contention. She said, I don't think we can get any more moderate than Mike Johnson. She said there's not even any daylight between him and Nancy Pelosi at this point. He's literally turned into Mitch McConnell's twin and worse. And she went on to continue to rail against.
Yes, you have Marjorie Taylor Greene saying that the person, MAGA Mike Johnson, who wants to ban IVF is a moderate. I mean, that's where Marjorie Taylor Greene is. Here, Marjorie Taylor Greene says again that MAGA Mike is not MAGA enough. Let's play this clip.
I think he's been promoted to be the senior partner at the firm. And you know what that means. He is not working for Republicans. He is not helping Republicans. He's not even listening to Republicans. He is doing the very dirty work of the deep state, and it happens fast and shocking.
So how is MAGA Mike responding to this? Cowardly, of course. MAGA Mike says, look, it's all a misunderstanding. Marjorie's she's a friend of mine with some strong views. MAGA Mike Johnson, play the clip.
How does it help the GOP grow the majority to be talking about a motion to vacate instead of talking about the border or inflation or other issues that are better for the GOP? How does this motion to vacate help win back the majority or win a bigger majority?
I don't think it does. And I think all of my other Republican colleagues recognize this is a distraction from our mission. Again, the mission is to save the republic. And the only way we can do that is if we grow the House majority, win the Senate, and win the White House. So we don't need any dissension right now. Look, Marjorie Taylor Greene filed the motion. It's not a privileged motion, so it doesn't move automatically. It's just hanging there. And she's frustrated. She and I exchanged text messages even today. We're going to talk early next week. Marjorie's a friend. She's very frustrated about, for example, the last appropriations bills. Guess what? So am I. As we discussed, Trey, these are not the perfect pieces of legislation that you and I and Marjorie would draft if we had the ability to do it differently. But with the smallest margin in U.S. history, we're sometimes going to get legislation that we don't like. And
Then MAGA Mike, after going on Fox, went on the Eric Bollinger show. And here's what MAGA Mike had to say about the January 6th insurrectionists. Play this clip.
So I made a commitment immediately after I got the gavel that we would start releasing that. Originally, we were trying to blur some of the faces to protect the innocent, people who were just there and just happened to be walking through the building. But then we realized a lot of this is out there in the public anyway. And so, yeah, we're releasing America as fast as we possibly can. We had to hire new staff to do it. They're uploading it. It's a 24-hour operation. And all that tape will be out there as soon as possible. But 13,000 hours are available now. Yeah.
Yes, you can send me a couple thousand hours. I'll work through it with you if you,
Sure, I'll do that.
need a little extra help.
Going back to what Marjorie Taylor Greene says, that this is what a moderate looks like in the Republican Party, calling the January 6th insurrectionists, quote, people who were just there and happened to be walking into the building. I've tried so many different things to maintain a heart-healthy lifestyle, like crash course diets or starting a daunting cardio routine, and frankly, it just hasn't been helpful for me. We often think living a more heart-healthy life means making big, unsustainable changes, but with Super Beets Heart Chews, you can get daily blood pressure support in just 2 tasty chews a day, and they even promote heart-healthy energy without the stimulants. Paired with a healthy lifestyle, the antioxidants in Super Beets are clinically shown to be nearly 2 times more effective at promoting normal blood pressure than a healthy lifestyle alone. Heart health is important for me because I want to be around as long as possible for my loved ones. Super Beets Heart Chews gives me the peace of mind that I'm doing the right thing and doing something good for myself every day. I take Super Beets Heart Chews every morning, and after taking them, I feel like I have more energy to take on the day. Super Beets Heart Chews are a convenient way to support healthy blood pressure. No pills to swallow, no ingredients to mix or prepare. It's plant-based and no artificial sweeteners or colors. I cannot recommend Super Beets Heart Chews enough to you, our viewers and listeners. Double your potential with Super Beets Heart Chews. Get a free month's supply of Super Beets Heart Chews on all bundles and a free full-size bag of turmeric chews valued at $25 with your order by going to MeidasBeats.com. Yep, we got our own website there, folks. Get the exclusive offer only at MeidasBeats.com, spelled MeidasBeets.com. Thank you. Here, Mike Johnson admits that Trump is essentially directing him to block the Ukraine aid. Play this clip.
We talked about the loan concept. President Trump has talked a lot about this in recent days, where if we're going to do foreign aid, we do it in terms of a loan instead of just a gift.
Here, Eric Bolling says that numerous Republican congressmen have called him and claimed that someone on the Democrat side is paying Republicans to quit. Play this clip.
Advocating this. I've had 2 congressmen call me, Congress people, I'll say it that way, call me saying there's someone on the Democrat side that's paying off some of these members to leave you with less of a majority. Have you heard that? You want to refute it? Is that nonsense? What are your thoughts?
No, I don't think that's happening. It is a great concern. We have a number of retirements and some people leaving early for various reasons, personal reasons, family reasons. Look, I respect that, but it does give us an extraordinary challenge. Now, the good news is...
And here, Eric Bolling talks to MAGA Mike Johnson and really calls him out for wanting to fund Ukraine. Watch this.
The perception is that nothing should come in front, no funding should come in front of the border funding. Is it feasible that this other bill or bills that you're going to put forward regarding foreign funding, foreign aid, will precede border funding?
No, look, we passed H.R. 2, our comprehensive border security measure.
Yeah, but sir, no, I don't mean to interrupt. I don't mean to be rude or interrupt, but that's been on Chuck Schumer's desk for 350 days. That's not going away. My concern is that anything new going forward would be without the border. I think a lot of Americans would feel the same way. Final thought on that one before we move on.
No, well, we're trying to keep that all together, and that's been the stipulation at the very beginning. We've been very consistent with the White House and everybody involved. The president has executive authority right now, Eric, as you know, to fix the border, and he refuses to use it. Why? Because they did this intentionally, and that's the reason we're impeaching Mayorkas and doing these other big things, because the president refuses to use the authority that he has right now under statutory law.
And the whole thing, too, is that there was a bipartisan border deal that was negotiated by a Republican who's as conservative as you get. The Oklahoma Republican Senator Langford negotiated the bipartisan deal. But anyway, they're saying that that bipartisan deal should be killed and that there should be no Ukraine funding. But by the way, I'm going to show you some other clips, but I still can't get over the fact, and we shouldn't ignore, that MAGA Mike does not have a bank account. He doesn't have a checking account or a savings account. You remember how everybody was like, all the media was attacking Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis because she kept some cash at her house? Okay, MAGA Mike does not have a bank account. He's the Speaker of the House. He's making over $200,000 a year. And when he was in Congress, he was making close to that before becoming the Speaker within Congress. Doesn't have a checking or savings account. Here, play this clip.
No, but I have to ask you this because there's been so much made about it. Vanity Fair says this. What's up with Mike Johnson's very shady seeming financial disclosures? They say you've never reported a bank account or an asset on a financial disclosure form going back to 2016. Can you clear that up for us?
Yes, look, I'm a man of modest means, okay? I was a lawyer, but I did constitutional law, and most of my career I spent in the nonprofit sector. We have 4 kids, 5 now, that are very active, and I have kids in graduate school, law school, undergraduate. We have a lot of expenses, but I can relate to everybody else. My father was a firefighter, right? I didn't grow up with great means, but I think that helps us be a better leader because we can relate to every hardworking American family. That's who we are, and I think it governs and helps govern my decisions and how I lead.
Well, majority of Americans now say they're living paycheck to paycheck, so a lot of folks in the same boat as they try to figure out this economy.
And so, of course, there's massive infighting amongst the MAGA Republicans now. Like here is Democratic, here's, before showing that, let me show, here's Republican Congress member Mike Turner calling out Marjorie Taylor Greene and others and saying they're the chaos caucus. Play this clip.
And a willing president to sign a package that would deliver this necessary aid to Ukraine. And I'm certainly hopeful we find a vehicle as quickly as possible to get that done. Speaker Johnson has certainly committed himself to that.
You think the Speaker's willing to put his job on the line in order to get this done? Because he is facing some threats from fellow Republicans.
Yeah, of course. Unfortunately, the Chaos Caucus has continued to want to stop everything that occurs in Congress. It's not as if they have an alternative plan. They're just against those things that are necessary. And that we're doing this is necessary for national security. Hakeem Jeffries, minority leader for Democrats, has made it absolutely clear that he will not join with rebels in the Republican side to take down Speaker Johnson on this. And I think we're certainly going to see broad support in Congress to get this job done.
And here's Republican Mike Lawler, Republican from New York, also calling out Marjorie Taylor Greene and calling Marjorie Taylor Greene part of a chaos caucus.
There is this motion to vacate threat that's hanging over the Speaker right now. It's specifically tied to him putting Ukraine aid on the floor. What is your feeling about this? Could he be in trouble if Ukraine aid actually does get to the floor?
Look, as I've said, it's idiotic and will do nothing to advance the cause of conservatism. And in fact, will undermine our House Republican majority. If people haven't learned that lesson from last year, I don't know what will make them learn that lesson. But the bottom line is this. The Speaker has to do what is right by the country. He understands that. And he knows that we need to get a bill on the floor. Obviously, he's seeking to build consensus within the conference, and that's his job. We have a House Republican majority for a reason. And you want to build consensus within the conference. So he's trying to do that. I think my colleagues need to recognize that, removing the Speaker is not going to stop Ukraine aid. from happening. It's not going to do anything other than undermine our majority. And so really the stupidity should stop.
By the way, I don't know if you saw this from the New York primaries about Biden votes versus Trump votes in New York's competitive congressional districts yesterday. And if you look at him, Biden's essentially leading in every one in the New York primary. I think as even upstate voters are looking at how radical the MAGA Republicans have become and what they're doing to everybody. I mean, it's so bizarre what's going on there. Anyway, let me show you this clip right here. Let me just show you, let's return to the land of normalcy for a moment. This is President Biden right here talking about standing up to Vladimir Putin. Here, play this clip.
To continue to do our part. I'm confident the vast majority, and excuse me for saying this, but I think a vast majority of members of Congress are willing to do their part and to continue to urge every member in this room to stand up to Vladimir Putin. He's a thug. He's a thug. And I urge you to send me the National Security Bill now. The bill includes funding for Ukraine and Israel, and maybe equally important, humanitarian assistance to Gaza. They badly, badly need it. And it sends a clear message. America stands up for freedom, and we bow down to no one in the world.
And of course, MAGA Mike needs to throw some red meat to his face. So here's the letter that MAGA Mike is sending to the United States Senate about the impeachment, and they want to put Secretary of Homeland Security. They want to impeach everybody, but Secretary of Homeland Security Mayorkas on trial for impeaching him. It's MAGA for you. MAGA in complete and total disarray, folks. You see it right there for yourself. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 3 million subscribers. We'll let you know if they end up ousting MAGA Mike. We'll keep you posted.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Midas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.